Our first example is the flared skirt with a non-parallel knife pleat. What we need to do first is combine both of these darts to the flare at the bottom. So if you do not have a notch at the bottom of your skirt, in order to get that, you are going to take your ruler and from your center pivot point, make that notch right at the bottom at the hemline. Once you have that, that is our starting point. So I'm gonna go ahead, make that notch and translate it. Go to the right and up the center front. I'm gonna go ahead and translate my hip line, close out this first dart, and the second one. And I'm gonna finish tracing. Don't forget that hip line again. I'm gonna stop tracing at the notch along the bottom of the hemline. I'm gonna remove my pattern piece. I'm gonna draw in the hip line now and make my pivot point a little larger. So this hip line, because we made a flare skirt, is not going to be straight across. It's gonna be kind of funky looking, but that's okay. That is what we need. I'm gonna finish my hemline by using a French curve, so just connecting it together. And then I am going to make a notch. Let's connect that. From the center front on the waistline, 2 inches. So 2 inches in. 1, 2. Make a very large notch, so you guys can see it. And then at the bottom, we're gonna do 3.5 inches as a notch. So 1, 2, 3.5. I'm gonna connect the waistline notch that is 2 inches in and my 3.5 inch notch at the bottom. So go ahead, do a straight line connecting those two. All right, I'm gonna cut this pattern out as is right now. And we are going to add our addition to that line that we just made. In order to do that, I'm going to grab another sheet of paper. And I am going to label this so I don't get confused. I'm going to cut this out on this straight line to add the addition. Next, I'm going to line up the right side, so the side that has my center front. Because the center front is straight, I'm just going to line it up to the edge of my paper. So you can go ahead, tape that down, and then at the top of my waistband, which I will outline this so you can see it a little better. From the top of my waistband over, I want to make a notch 2 inches away. Actually, let's do 1 inch away. And then at the bottom, I'm going to make a notch 1.5 inches away. And connect those. So this is a very, very slight triangular addition that we are making. So again, we did 1 inch over at the top, 1.5 inches at the bottom. I'm going to take the left side of my skirt piece that has the side seam and line it up on this line that we just made. Now, I kind of already have arrows just to show you the measurement before, but now I want to translate them and label my pattern piece. So I'm gonna go ahead, take my French curve, draw the line up at the top, so the waistline back in, and the hemline. Hemline, and let me get a better curve. And then I'm going to draw arrows pointing towards the side seam, so I know how I want to fold that pleat when I go to sew it. It would go all the way down. Okay, so I am actually going to label this knife pleat. And then I'm going to finish labeling. We want green line to be parallel to the center front. We already labeled our center front, and we want this to be on the fold. And this is skirt front, chapter 11, example 3, cut 1. And this one is, again, chapter 11, example 3, flared skirt with non-parallel knife pleat. And there is our first pattern.